Welcome everyone to another episode of Pop Rant Radio, the podcast where two pop culture junkies discuss popular and sometimes not so popular culture. My name is Moss, I'm your host, and with me as always is my good friend and co-host, Eric. How are you today, sir?
I'm kind of sick. I got a cold.
Yes, Eric has
I'm here because I love you all.
Eric has a cold, so we're going to be having fun today on this episode.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of, it's just going to be an hour of Ugh, it's my grandpa. My grandpa does that a lot.
I'll see what I can do in post.
It drives my mom nuts, and I love it.
So we watched two movies earlier this evening. I had seen both of them before.
Movies? You forgot to put quotes.
Yeah, quotes. It was Eric's first time watching these movies. We watched the Ewok movies from 1984 and 1985.
The Ewok Adventures.
Yes. The first one is The Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure.
The Caravan of Courage, How to Torture a Horse, which we'll get into.
And The Battle for Endor. Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
Ewoks Battle for Endor. Picket signs and everything. I was kind of hoping there'd be more Empire in that one, but I guess...
No.
Don't get all your dreams.
No, there's pretty much no references to Star Wars in the entire film.
The reference is Ewok.
Yeah, outside the fact that there are Ewoks in these movies, that's all you get.
Yeah, Ewok, Wicket.
The end.
Endor.
The forest moon of Endor.
The little flute thing from, oboe or clarinet, I can't remember, that does Wicket's theme. You know, the bum-ba-dum,
oh, yes.
Just does it for like a little bit in the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, yay! And it's gone. Return of the Jedi is, I'm not a super big fan of it. You and I have talked about that before.
Sure.
I think Return of the Jedi does have some of the best music, though, in the series. Everything that takes place in Endor, that is, in my opinion, John Williams' peak. It's really, really good. Don't get me wrong, 4 and 5, amazing music. Even 1, 2, and 3 still has pretty great music.
Agreed.
But
probably the best part of those movies.
Easily. 1 is unsavable, but Duel of the Fates, everyone will love that song forever. They just need to put Duel of the Fates in episode 8 or 9, just randomly in the background. Have it on a jukebox in Dexter's Diner.
Well, we don't need any more Dexter's Diner.
Well, it blew up, remember?
So for those of you who aren't familiar, after Return of the Jedi came out in 1983, Lucasfilm produced 2 made-for-TV movies. I believe they aired on ABC. One was in 1984 and one was in 1985. And they are side movies all about the Ewoks, so spin-off movies all about the Ewoks on the planet Endor. And that's what we watched this evening. And
there was also a cartoon, you said?
Yeah, there was a cartoon. I don't remember how many episodes it was. Supposedly, this movie takes place in between, or these 2 movies, rather, take place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But we'll get to that, because that kind of doesn't make sense.
I don't think it makes sense, period. It has to be a what-if, or a side story for it to work.
Right. Because by the time the second movie rolls around, Wicket, the main Ewok, he speaks English. And there's no sign of that in Return of the Jedi.
No.
So did you just forget it?
Well, just the reaction to humans is a big thing, too.
It's almost like they didn't think this out.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's probably what happened.
I would imagine that most people probably have neither seen nor heard of these movies. They're pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
But they're kind of charming.
Well, they're not bad enough to live in infamy like the holiday special does.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because I was kind of hoping they'd be bad enough.
Yeah. So the first movie was The Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure from 1984.
Yep. And
what did you think of tonight's feature, Eric?
So with the first one, and really both of them, they're cheesy, but they're not bad.
They're charming.
Yeah, if you go in realizing this is for children, don't take it too seriously. It works. It's fine.
Right. You have to keep in mind that it was made for TV movies in the 80s. You know, the budgets were probably fairly small. Oh, production design on both of these movies by Joe Johnston, director of my favorite movie, The Rocketeer, and also Captain America.
Your other favorite movie?
No.
Captain America, the First Avenger, to specify.
This is true, the First Avenger.
It's not Captain America 1990 whatever. So, the first one's kind of just boring when I think back to it.
It's a little slow.
It's a lot of just walking.
Yeah, so the basic story is the 2 main characters are Sindel and Mace, who are sister and brother. Sindel's probably 6 years old, 7 years old.
Mace is the descendant of Mace Windu. It's the young adult version of Mace.
People have the same first name are always related to each other.
Absolutely. He pulls out a purple lightsaber in the second one. It's amazing.
Mace is probably 13, 14.
He's preview best.
12, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. Sindel and Mace, along with their parents, they crash land.
Wait, what's the dad's name?
Jermit and Katerin. So it's like he's
Real
like
names.
he's like Jermit. He's like Kermit the Frog, but
Yeah.
but with a J.
I do think it was the toss back to Jim Henson, who's not in this film at all.
Right. There's no Jim Henson like puppetry or anything.
Oh, and you notice. You notice real fast.
You notice the strings on the spiders
Oh, and the lifeless faces.
of the Ewoks.
Yup.
I think their last name was Tawani. So the Tawani family, they crash land on Endor in their Star Cruiser, which is just like a little spaceship.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the movie, Sindel and Mace have wandered off. The parents are looking for them, and as they're searching around the forest for them, the giant monster Gorax, who is like Bigfoot, but I don't know, like 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's pretty big.
Jarring.
He runs up on them and presumably captures them.
Right. For some reason.
So the next morning, Wicket and his father Deej are searching for... Eric's shaking his head
I'm
at me.
shaking my head right now. You know these.
They're searching for Wicket's two older brothers who have gotten lost in the forest. So Deej finds them.
Finds them via hang glider.
Hang glider. He's flying around his hang glider, tosses them down a rope. The rope breaks,
Yes.
which is a reoccurring theme in these movies.
Yup.
Rope is not to be trusted.
No.
They, on their way back to their home, they stumble across the Star Cruiser. They go inside. They open up this little panel and they find Sindel crying. And they're trying to comfort her. Mace, Sindel's brother, rolls up with his blaster and is like, "Get away from my sister!
Right.
Back off!"
Well, and I got really kind of confused at this point because he's wearing what looks like if you were like a poor kid, it looks like your Halloween outfit if you were Luke Skywalker from
Empire. Yeah, when he's like in the X-Wing.
It's like the orange jumpsuit with like the tan vest.
Yes.
But it does not look like the orange jumpsuit from the movie. And clearly the tan vest is not the correct tan vest.
Yeah, it's like the Halloween costume you get from the store.
Yeah.
So the Ewoks, they tackle Mace, take away his gun. They bring Sindel and Mace back to their village, to their little hut, where we meet Wicket's mother, and he has a little baby sister. Sindel's sick. She's coughing. She's also acting terribly.
Yeah, spray her face with a spray bottle a little bit.
Yeah. And so she's sick. They need to get her medicine. So they give her some medicine. She feels a little bit better, but then they run out of medicine. So they're like, "Oh, well, we have to go find more." Mace, Deej, and the two brothers, whose names I don't remember, they go into the forest to find...
They're both just Wicket.
to find the tree that has the medicine, basically maple syrup in it.
Yeah, it has like a faucet on this tree.
Right. Oh, and also the first movie, not the second movie, but the first movie has a narrator. It's kind of like a documentary about Ewoks in a very loose sense.
Yeah, because especially at one point, it's like the Ewoks gather for a hunting ritual where they are going to select their weapons and move forward with it. And it's just like, I feel like I'm watching Discovery Channel. Like,
right, we get some... That's a good way to put it. Like, it's like National Geographic Ewok.
It is. It was kind of weird because he's not in it that much. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And there's long breaks after like the first 30 minutes of the movie. There's long breaks where
the narrator doesn't show up. They go into the forest to find some more medicine, and while they're getting medicine out of the tree, Mace sees this little guinea pig Furby thing in a tree, and he goes over to it and he tries to touch it, and he gets grabbed and he gets pulled inside the tree and his arm's all caught up, and he's like, "Oh, help." Well, it's the right arm in the scene.
Right.
So the Ewoks, they help him. They drag the creature out and they beat it with sticks after beating the tree with sticks.
Yeah, which was weird. And it's like a turtle.
Yeah, it's like a big snake turtle thing. It's weird.
It is weird.
Like a lot of things in these movies.
Yeah, they like hit the tree for like 5 seconds. It comes out, and then they like one hit with it, and it's just like, all right.
I'm done.
Yep, see ya.
So they bring the medicine back. Sindel gets better. But the Ewoks still won't give Mace back his laser rifle, his blaster.
Right.
So in the middle of the night, he grabs his blaster, he grabs Sindel, all the Ewoks are asleep, and they sneak out.
Right, and this is where I made that joke that you loved.
What was that?
He just shoots them all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, father would have wanted it this way. He just like grabs her and he's like, "We're on our own now. This is how he would have wanted it."
Just shoots all the Ewoks in the face. Dad would have wanted it this way. So they're rolling through the forest. They're searching for Mom and Dad. And they get attacked by a stop-motion beast.
It's like a rat wolf?
Yeah, it's like a giant boar/rat.
But then later on, they clearly show it again later on. And it looks completely different. because they keep on jumping between different things. It's either a stop motion or it's a hand puppet.
Yes.
And the stop motion looks like a wolf boar. The hand puppet looks like a rat. It's super confusing.
So they run away from the giant rat boar wolf thing, and they hide inside a tree. And then the creature can't get to him.
And then it can't get to him, and it just gives up.
Right. It finally gets its claw inside the tree, and you're like, oh, it's going to give it. And then he's just like, I give up. Walks away.
Right. And this is when Mace is like, all right, sleep time.
Right. It's like, don't worry about it. Just try to fall asleep. Yeah, thanks, brother.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
There's a giant rat thing outside. I definitely going to go to sleep right now.
So the next morning, the Ewoks find them, and they're trying to take down the monster. And after some shenanigans, Wicket actually pulls out his blowgun dart, and
which contains the blood of a xenomorph.
He shoots the dart into the creature, who just immediately dies.
Right, and then there's like smoke coming out of his mouth.
It's like acid.
Yes.
Very deadly. So then...
Never uses it again.
Never uses it again. The creature had the father's life monitor bracelet on it. So they find the father's life bracelet and they determine, oh, okay, dad's still alive because his little bracelet light is still on.
Which doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not, because the bracelet's not on him anymore.
Okay.
Whatever. Mace talks to Deej and goes, we have to find where this beast came from so we can find my parents.
And Deej literally points.
Yeah, to the mountain in the distance.
And then we cut to a later scene back at the village, and he's still asking where it came from.
So Deej is like, all right, let's go to Logray, who is the village mystic.
He's like a shaman.
My favorite character, because he has a big old like bird skull helmet.
And an enormous dreidel.
Yes. He has this giant spinning, like it's like a lantern, like a paper lantern, but it's also a top.
Right.
And he spins it, and there's a vision inside of the top that shows the parents being held in the lair of the Gorax.
I kind of wish it was Lorax. He's like, you chopped down my trees, Ewoks.
Mace is like, we have to go find them. We have to go get them. And Deej is like, all right, I agree to help you. We're going to form the Caravan of Courage, the titular Caravan of Courage.
Yep. It happens.
So they gather up everybody. Deej, his two elder sons, then Wicket, Sindel, and Mace. They're going to go on this journey and get their parents back.
Right.
Before they go, Logray gives each of them an object for their quest, an item for their quest. Deej and his two elder sons, they each get this headpiece, which are like the wings of courage, the wings of hope, and the wings of whatever the blue one was. I don't remember. Prosperity. Wicket gets a magic walking stick. Sindel gets a magic candle.
Yep.
Mace gets a rock, which he's not very happy about. And then there's two items left. There's the crystal and there's the tooth. And Logray tells them, well, really the narrator tells us, but Logray essentially tells them, you're going to come across other Ewoks on your adventure. You have to convince them to join you, to help you. You'll need these items.
Right.
Cool. So Mace is immediately like, I don't need this stupid rock, and throws it aside. And Wicket, rolling up behind him, is like, oh, I'll just pick this up. Maybe it'll come in handy.
Cool, it rocks.
Spoilers, it does. So they're off on the road to the Gorax lair.
Yep.
Sindel and Wicket get placed into like this big like caravan tent thing. That's
kind of like what you'd see like in like a medieval thing where they put like the prince or the queen.
Yeah, in like a little car type thing.
On the most unfortunate horse.
This big ass caravan cart is like on top of this poor horse.
And it's like its legs are buckling.
For the rest of the movie.
Like there's scenes where it's walking and its legs are shaking. And I was just like, get the horse out of there.
That horse is not doing so hot.
Like, they probably went through 3 of them. In fact, there's several shots where you don't see it. And it's because that horse probably collapsed for a while.
Their first stop is in the forest. They're walking along, and all of a sudden a tree falls down.
Right.
And they come across the lumberjack Ewok.
Chupacabra.
Chuck Trock. That's his name. So Mace is like, the tree fell down and almost killed my sister and Wicket.
Right, because they're somehow out of the caravan, which I thought that meant that it crushed the horse, and the horse finally got to rest. But no, they just rolled out.
So Mace is yelling at I'm just gonna call him Lumberjack Dude.
There you go.
Yelling at Lumberjack Dude, "You almost killed my sister, you jackass!" He doesn't say jackass. This is
No,
a
he's
very,
like,
very
"Yo."
G-rated movie.
You screwball.
Yeah.
So
And
they get in a comparing contest.
so Deej rolls up and he's like, "Hey, we're on this journey to rescue their parents. You need to come with us. Look, here's the tooth that goes onto your necklace,"
Right.
which is like the skull of a small animal or whatever.
Another Ewok.
And Lumberjack Dude is like, "No, I'm good. I'll pass." And Mace goes, "Oh, you're just a coward. Like, yeah, you're big and strong, but you can't
Right.
do anything. Watch this." And Mace takes his axe, which he has out of nowhere.
Right. He gives it to. He's just like, because this is where Mace's big inconsistencies start.
Yes.
Because
So-
I complain about this throughout the entire movie because Mace is a freaking wishy-washy little punk and it drives me nuts.
So Mace throws his axe at a tree and it hits like this little, I don't know, piece of moss or whatever. And he's like, "Ha ha, beat that."
Somehow.
And then Lumberjack Ewok goes, "Oh yeah?" And he takes his axe and he throws it and it lands in the handle of Mace's axe. So he's like, "Ooh." And Mace immediately is like, "Whoa,
Wow, you're pretty impressive.
I've never seen anything like that before."
It's like shaking his hand.
And he takes the tooth and he gives it. He's like, "Would you please help us?" Like, just immediately changes his mind. In the next scene, they come across the Ewok priestess, Kank.
Skank.
They give the crystal to Kank and they're like, "Hey, can you help us?" And she says, "Well, only if you pass a magic test."
Right. Now here comes wishy-washy moment number 2.
She puts the crystal in Mace's hand, and Mace is like, "Please come with us and help us." She turns the crystal into a lizard.
Which he drops.
Mace drops it, and he's like, "We don't even need you anyway."
He's like, "What is this? This ain't impressive. I ain't sold. I'm done." And he like gets up to leave.
So Sindel picks up the lizard, and it turns into a mouse. And
Yeah.
then Kank is like, "You passed the test. Sure."
Now it's a crystal again.
Next up on our journey, they come to this like pond. It's like a little lake.
Right.
And they're all kind of just chilling out, not doing anything. And Mace, in traditional Mace fashion, where he
Yep.
touches things he shouldn't touch,
Of course.
is sitting by the water, puts his finger in it, and is like teleported underneath the water.
Right. It's like the bottom of it.
Right. And then he can't, like, the top of the water, it's almost like he fell through ice. Like, he can't get out, but it's
Right.
it's like magic water. Sindel's like, "Help my brother, help!" And very like,
No, she's like, "Oh my god, my brother.
"Please help my brother.
He's stuck.
I'm 6 and can't act." And
Put the twig in the water."
the Ewoks roll over. They try some rope. The rope disappears. Again,
Right.
rope is worthless in these movies. They try some...
Stick like a
like a
bushel.
branch. Yeah, that disappears. And then Cinna's like, "Oh, Wicket, use your magic stick that the magic man gave you." I love that line. Wicket puts his magic stick in the water, and Mace grabs it and helps him out. And then Mace is immediately like, "Thank you so much, Wicket. You saved my life."
We're now best friends. I love you.
Next stop, they camp.
Yep.
They
again.
meet the little fairy
Right,
creatures.
the Tinkerbell things.
Right, these little like Tinkerbell light fairy things, and they swirl around Sindel's magic candle. And Kank, the priestess, looks very uninterested and is just like, "Go ahead and put the candle on the ground." Then
Yep.
the light fairies go into it.
Yep.
But then the final light fairy, Mizurina, I think was her name.
Thumbelina.
Mace is like, "Oh, she's away from her family, just like we are.
I'm gonna trap her.
I'll put her in my pocket for later."
Just like Link.
Scene. Next scene,
Yep.
they're camping again. Mizurina comes out and tickles all of them. Nothing happens.
God.
Next scene, they finally get to the mountain lair of the Gorax, but it's blocked by a giant boulder. And
Ugh.
Kank, the priestess, goes to Mace and is like, "Hey, what about your rock? That will come in handy right now." Mace is like, "Oh yeah, my rock. Oh shit, I threw it away." The end.
This really happens.
Wicket rolls up and he's like, "Hey, luckily I picked up the rock, so it's all
He's like,
good."
"Oh, cool." And the priest is like, "There's something in it." He's like, "Oh, is there?"
He
Oh, there
shakes it,
is.
there's a rattle, throws the rock on the ground, little arrowhead pops out, and then it magically shows them the way into the lair. Mace takes his blaster, shoots the rock.
It somehow blows up.
The rock disintegrates. You made mention the fact that you feel really bad for stormtroopers from now on.
Right.
Because laser blasts just
Jesus.
disintegrate them. They go inside the
God.
cave. Sindel, Wicket, and the other younger brother, they stay behind because
Right.
they're the young ones. The rest of the party goes forward. They come across a giant spider web
Yep.
that's across a chasm. Mace is like, it's just like climbing a ladder sideways.
Shut up, Mace.
They start going over. Giant spider comes down, which at first you didn't see.
Yeah, I heard it. Like, I heard, like, the music, and I was like, wait, what's going on? Oh, okay, it's a spider.
Then they all get across. There's a second spider.
But it's bigger.
But it's a little bigger. It tries to get Deej, and you can see the strings on the puppet. Kank, the priestess, uses her magic crystal to hypnotize the spider. Deej gets across. Mace uses axe to cut the spider web. Spider falls. Yay.
All of a sudden, cut back.
Cut back to the kids at the beginning of the cave.
And
another spider.
Same one. Maybe not the same one, but it's the same puppet.
Definitely the same puppet. Wicket stabs it a couple of times, kills it. All right, we're in the lair of the
Lorax.
The Gorax. Gorax rolls up. Parents are being held in a cage. Gorax is like looking at him like, "Rrr."
But he doesn't do anything.
Nope. One of the Ewoks rolls out, and the Gorax notices him, chases him through the cave the other direction.
Well, he throws a rock at him.
Yeah.
Because it's one of Wicket's older brothers. He throws a rock.
Lumberjack and Mace set up this little...
Like a teeter-totter.
Yeah, teeter-totter system to where the Ewoks are gonna jump on the one end and it's gonna shoot Mace up to the cage. This part doesn't make any sense because Mace gets up to the cage, says hi to Mom and Dad. They throw down a rope. It's not a rope that they had.
No.
It's
we never see Mace with the rope.
Right. So they throw the rope down. Lumberjack climbs up the rope.
Right.
In the cage.
I was like, no, go down the rope.
And Mace is like, he's going to help you. Mace climbs down. Why didn't the parents just climb down?
I have no idea.
So Gorax is chasing the other Ewok through the cave, comes back around, sees them climbing down out of the cage. Gets all... Grr. They all run, but Lumberjack stays behind, and he has a little axe, and he's hacking away at the Gorax's foot.
Right.
Mace is like, come on, you gotta come with us.
Come on, Lumberjack.
Mizarina, the fairy, comes out and starts to distract Gorax.
Who then punches the wall.
Yeah, you can see the set move. The walls of the set move. Rocks fall down. Hit Lumberjack dude in the face. He falls down.
He's dead.
Mace rolls up and he's like, no, you can't die. And Lumberjack's like, take my axe, go save your family. He dies.
I hate you.
You were surprised that he actually died.
I was. I didn't think they'd do it.
They're all trying to get out. They get back to the pit where there's a rope again.
Right, somehow.
And the Gorax comes down the stairs.
Yep.
They use the rope and they pull it and they try to trip him. He falls down, but he doesn't fall down the chasm. Mom grabs the gun, shoots him in the shoulder.
Jesus.
Gorax falls down the pit.
But then Sindel comes in and delivers the best line ever. It's my mom and dad. Like a statement. Not like a surprise, not a shock, not a glad to see them. My mom and dad.
But the Gorax climbs back up and is like, oh, I'm going to grab you. Sindel actually screams.
Yes, which is funny because she screams, quote unquote,
right,
all throughout the movie, but we never see it.
Right, every time she screams, she's off camera, and then whenever it cuts back to her, she's just
this is what's going on. She's like, oh, I'm jostled.
Mace takes Lumberjack's axe and throws it into the back of Gorax.
Into his head.
Yeah, he falls down and he's dead. Yay! They go back to the Ewok village. Everybody celebrates. The narrator chimes back in. And
oh, you're still here. Sorry.
Yeah. He says something along the lines of the adventurers discovered what they already knew, that love is the most powerful force in the universe.
And
credits.
Don't trust the bears.
Fade to black, credits. Movie's over. And that was the Caravan of Courage.
Yep.
So it's dumb and it's cheesy, but it's charming.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's fine. It's fine for a kid's film.
Yeah, the pacing is not amazing because the entire movie is just, we're on a road trip, we stop here, a thing happens, we stop here, the thing happens. That's pretty much the entire movie. And
acting is horrible.
It's really bad. When we were watching it, or right before we watched it, I told you, I was like, the second one's definitely better, so we just have to get through the first one.
Well, I just love the fact that you were like, Before, like, in the beginning of the movie, you were like, I don't remember if the girl's bad or not.
Yeah, I said, I don't remember if the girl's acting is bad or not.
And, like, her very first line is like, are you my mom? Like, just like that.
It's very bad. So next we watched The Ewoks, Battle for Endor, 1985. Episode 2. Revenge of the Attack of the Ewoks. The Ewokening. The Rewokening.
Starring Christopher Walken. As Wicket.
So,
no makeup.
The movie opens up. It's probably about a year after the events of the first movie.
It is a year. It's 1984, 1985. What's wrong with you?
6 months, something like that. We open on Wicket and Sindel. Wicket completely speaks English now. Presumably, right. Sindel has taught him.
And you were like, I think she acts better in this one. Immediately wrong. She's still horrible.
Slightly better. She's not
slightly better, but she's still bad.
She's still terrible, but she's slightly better. She's a year older. So they're walking back to the Ewok village. They come across Sindel's dad, and the dad's like, hey, go tell your mother I'm working on the starship, the Star Cruiser. So the Star Cruiser from the first movie is being fixed up, and it's almost ready to go. So Sindel and Wicket are talking about how...
By the way, the dad's played by someone new this time.
Yes, dad is now a different actor.
From Breakfast Club.
Dad is a different actor.
He does not crack skulls.
He does not. Sindel's basically telling Wicket, hey, I'm going to have to leave soon. And Wicket's like, oh, you should stay here. But, whatever. They're walking back to the village, and they start hearing a bunch of noise, and they start seeing smoke, and they're like, oh... surprise, Ewok village is under attack.
Everyone's dead.
Ewok village is under attack by these, they look like kind of like half men, half like gorilla.
Yeah, they got like goblins.
Yeah, they're tall.
Like orcs or something.
Yeah, they're like orcs. Orcs is a good way to describe them. They're tall, but they have like gray skin, they're ugly, and they kind of have like little horns on their faces, that sort of thing. They're attacking the Ewok village. Laser blasts going everywhere. Ewoks are getting... scooped up and put in the back of these like wagons, these like cage wagons.
Right.
So the caravans are being pulled by dewbacks, which from Star Wars: A New Hope are the creatures on Tatooine, like the giant like.
The ones the stormtroopers ride.
Yeah, the stormtroopers are riding them, and the bad guys are being led by Tarak.
Right.
Who looks like Andros from Star Fox.
So I was just watching. I was like. It's Andros.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, that is totally Andros.
Yeah, he looks like a monkey with white fur around the outer rim of his face.
Yes.
He looks 100%.
Yeah, and he carries this big old sword. So all of his guys are like rounding up the Ewoks, putting them in these cages. Wicket gets captured. Sindel finds her brother, Mace.
Right, who's in puberty.
Yeah, definitely going through puberty.
He's like, Sindel!
His voice is all over the place. The mother is dead already. Her body is laying there.
Like, no joke.
She's already dead. Like, you were really surprised. You were like, oh, man.
Right, because then
immediately, like, Mace goes, find Dad. Go run back to Dad. Sindel runs off. Mace grabs Mom's body, drags her into this little hut, trying to shoot at the guys. But they have, like, this big turret cannon. They shoot, and it, like, blows up the hut. Mace and Mom are dead.
And I was like,
5 minutes into the movie,
no, they're not.
Mace and Mom are dead.
No, they're not.
And you looked at me and you were like, are they really dead? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're dead.
I was like, what the hell? Right on the bat? Jesus.
5 minutes into the movie, main character from the last movie's dead.
Right, it was ridiculous. Like, he's got one line.
Yeah, and it's the same actor. Like,
I think the mom was the same too.
No, they don't show the mom's face. Mom's definitely not the same person.
It's not Discount Gary Fisher anymore.
So Sindel runs back to her dad.
Dad's in the middle of an interrogation.
Yeah, he's being interrogated by Tarak and Tarak's dudes and the sorceress witch lady.
Right. What is her name? She lives on the moon, fights the Power Rangers.
Rita Repulsa.
Yes,
she does look like Rita Repulsa. So, witch lady has a magic ring that turns her into a crow.
Right. She has to charge it by a lantern every night.
The dad sees Sindel off in the distance. Dad runs away from the bad guys, gets to Sindel, but on his way over to her, he gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
And then they're hiding, and he tells Sindel, remember that story about the little bird who got lost in the nest and then had to fly back to the nest?
And Sindel's like, are you dying?
So she goes, Mace and Mom are dead.
Right, which is just like, what? Who is this kid? She's not real. Stupid little curly cute crap.
She's like, she looks a lot like Shirley Temple, actually.
Yes.
So Dad tells her the story about the little bird, and Sendo's like, okay, I'm going to have to run. Dad is like, find Tej, he'll take care of you. go run, I'll take care of the bad guys. She runs off, bad guys roll up, he shoots one of them, but then he gets shot and dies.
Yeah, it's like done like really artistically. Like you see his hand press against the tree and then it like slides down.
Yeah, they don't actually show him like get shot or whatever. Again, it's very PG.
Yeah, and she's like looking at her bracelet and like all the colors are off. She's like, all my parents are dead.
Right, the life monitor bracelet showing that they're all dead. She gets captured, put into the cage with Wicket. They're all the Ewoks are captured. They're being taken away from the village.
Yep.
So that night, as the caravan is traveling, the Ewoks, they pry up one of the floorboards of the wooden cage.
Well, first I look out the window to make sure the coast is clear, and then conveniently see this guard just run into a tree.
Guard runs into a tree and falls down for no reason.
And they're like, all right, sweet.
So Sindel and Wicket escape because they're the only two small enough to fit through the hole. Even though the hole is gigantic.
And this part made me really mad because they literally roll out from the bottom of the caravan. They're in the middle of this parade line. Guys immediately behind them don't see them.
Don't see anything.
Then they slowly run off to the side. Guys walking behind them still don't see them. No one sees them. And then randomly, this guy just turns to his left and goes, "Wah!" and like sees them off in the distance.
His spidey sense was tingling.
Well, and these two have like super speed, which comes into play later.
So, yeah, Sindel and Wicket are running through the forest.
But they're like gaining so much ground away from them.
Two of the bad guys chase after them. They find this like mountain pass.
Yep.
And they climb up the path of the mountain. The guys are shooting at them, and they find Sindel and Wicket find this little cave that they sneak into, and as the guys try to shoot at them, a bunch of rocks fall on them and kill them.
Right, they're dead.
Convenient. So they're inside this cave, and they go through the cave, and when they get to the other side, there is a big giant opening that leads out, but it's a huge drop and there's no way that they can get out because the entrance is blocked by the rocks that fell.
Right.
And there's no exit besides this steep drop off the cliff.
Right, so Wicket lights a fire to commemorate their deaths.
So Wicket lights a fire, as you said. Well, I guess we're just going to wait to starve to death.
Starve or thirst, whichever takes us first.
And then somehow the scene cuts, and then when it cuts back, Wicket has built a hang glider.
There was like, the thing is like, yeah, there were bones around the cave. There's no tarp.
Yeah, where did he get the cloth?
Right, where's the glider part of this glider?
So Wicket makes a glider somehow, and as he's going for one of the final bones, there is like a dragon wyvern thing.
Pterodactyl wyvern thing,
yeah. That he disturbs. The wyvern grabs Sindel and flies out of the cave.
Funniest looking scene ever.
It looks really bad.
Lost it.
In both of these movies, the blue screen / green screen is real rough.
Especially on Sindel, because she's got those curly hairs, so it's really hard to get in between the curls.
It looks real bad.
So her hair is green constantly.
Wicket grabs onto his handy dandy glider and sails out after the wyvern and Sindel. Yep. And as it doesn't really make any sense, but he gets above them and he drops a rock on the dragon's head, who drops Sindel. She's falling. Wicket has enough time to swoop down with the glider and catch her in the glider.
Yeah, she breaks the tarp.
They crash into the ground.
Don't die.
Somehow don't die. So then they're just chilling, walking through the forest.
Yep, get to it.
The next day, they come across this little guy comes across them. It's this little creature. I'll post pictures on Twitter and Facebook, but basically picture like
a terrifying monkey.
Like Alf's face.
Yep.
Without the snout, just Alf's face on like a little monkey creature.
A white fur monkey.
Yes. That's this character. The character's name is Teak.
Tweak.
And Teak can run like the Flash. Like he runs really fast. Inexplicably fast.
He's the most annoying, most broken, stupid character in this damn movie. And he's just so bad. Like his laugh sounds like Kefka, and he's annoying.
Yeah, he has this like laugh.
He can fix the movie in like 2 seconds, like every time. And his stupid glazed over look is so aggravating.
It's really creepy. His face kind of looks like one of the masks from like Troll 2.
Yeah. Because Wicket's mask is updated in this one. Like you can actually see that he can articulate.
He's got a little bit of articulation in his face. His mouth can move when he talks.
This guy literally is like mouth open, like eyes like glazed.
Yeah, his nose moves a little bit, but that's about it.
Otherwise, he just looks like he's waiting for a fly to fly in.
He looks really creepy. So Teak leads Sindel and Wicket to a house, and it's all messy. And think of like the Seven Dwarves house.
Yeah.
And
It's a little cottage.
Yeah, it's a little cottage like built into kind of like a tree. And Sindel's like, well, if nobody lives here anymore, this can be our house. Wow, that's a huge assumption to make.
Yep. We'll clean it and it'll be ours.
They're cleaning up the place, and in walks the owner of the house,
Diabetes man.
Wilford fucking Brimley.
It's amazing.
Wilford Brimley is in this movie. Wilford Brimley is Noah.
Famously known for his diabetes PSA commercials.
Yes, where he's riding on a horse.
Yep, and he just says, diabetes, over and over again.
So he gets back to the house and he goes, what are you two doing in here? This is my house. What are you doing? And Sam's like, well, we just thought we could stay. He's like, no, go, get out of here.
So get out.
Makes them leave. Well, before they left, they had been making like some soup and some muffins. And so Wilford Brimley and Teak start eating the muffins and the soup. And
Wilford Brimley doesn't take a single muffin.
And Brimley goes, you can have as many muffins as you want, Teak, but don't let me catch you taking any of those muffins out to those little bandits out there. And so
Teak has a pouch?
Teak has a little pouch, and he like scoots all of the muffins like completely conspicuously.
Yeah, he's just like...
He just does not care.
Nope.
Into his pouch, and Noah's like, I'm going over to the stove to get me some more soup.
Right.
You stay right there.
Don't you dare go out there.
Turns around. Teak immediately runs out, gives the muffins to Sindel and Wicket.
Takes his damn time, too.
Yeah. Well, and it's implied that, like, Wilford Brimley knows. He sees him. Like, He knows what he's doing. Like, he's letting him go give the kids the food. Later that day, Wicket starts a fire because Sindel's cold. Noah rolls out and he's like, what are you trying to do? Burn the forest down? Takes him inside, lights a fire in the fireplace, and he goes, the proper place for a fire is a fireplace. You could stay here tonight and enjoy this fire, but in the morning, you're going to leave.
He's a total prick in this movie.
He is. But it's great when Wilford Brimley shows up because he actually has like a modicum of talent. Like he knows how to act. So it's not awful.
Right.
Meanwhile, at the castle of Tarak and the bad guys...
Grayskull.
Castle Grayskull. All of the Ewoks are being held captive.
Right.
And Evil Witch Lady and Tarak, they have the Star Cruiser's power source. It's like a little battery type thing.
Yeah.
And Tarak is convinced that the power source has some like mystical power. And they make mention that the Traveler, had talked about the mystical power that this will bring. And the witch can't figure it out. And Tarak is like, if you don't figure out the power, I'm just going to kill you. Or you're doomed. That's his favorite phrase in this movie.
And she blames it on his people because she's like, hey, the girl would have known how to do it. Her dad knew. She knows. Right. Let's go grab her.
Yeah. So Tarak is like, okay, you're going to go find me the girl. Cool. Back at the ranch.
Yep.
Noah comes home after the day. He told the kids that they needed to be out by the time he got home. When he comes home, he has 2 new like bedrolls with him.
Right, he's got like sleeping bags and everything.
Yes. And when he gets there, he asks Teak, like, are those kids gone? Teak's like, yep. Teak lies a lot in this movie.
Teak's a piece of shit.
Now that I think about it.
Don't even cut corners. Teak's a piece of shit.
And Noah goes, all right, well, I brought these 2 new bedrolls for you. I brought them in 2 different sizes because I didn't know what size you'd like. He's definitely brought them for the kids. It's very obvious. Right. The kids come home and they're like, hey,
flowers.
We picked these flowers. They're supposed to be berries.
Not berries.
We picked these berries. We can make a pie. So they make some pies. They eat the pies. Cool. All right, you can stay another night. Yay. Everybody goes to sleep. Sindel wakes up in the middle of the night, has a bad dream where Tarak and his dudes come in. She wakes up. It's pointless.
Yeah.
So the next day, Sindel and Wicket follow Noah to where he goes every day. And it turns out that Noah every day goes to a Star Cruiser of his own that he's working on.
Right, and it's like overgrown. It's been here for a long time, clearly.
Yeah. And Noah explains to the 2 kids that he originally landed on Endor, crash landed on Endor with his friend, Salak.
Right.
And Salak was convinced that he would find another power source for the ship. So he left and never came back. And we don't know how long ago this is, but it's implied it was like several years have passed.
Right, because he says he's lost count.
Right, a long amount of time. And he knows that Salak's probably not coming back. And then Sindel's like, do you think Salak is dead?
I will talk about that later on for sure.
And Wilford Brimley's like, yeah, he probably is dead by now.
Yeah, he did.
Death is just like
Oh yeah,
so
it's a
nonchalant in
big
this
thing
movie.
in both these movies that it's just like I said when we were watching, I said this that talking about death in kids movies is gutsy, and it's necessary. Like it's a good thing to talk about because kids at a time need to know what happens. But this movie just handles it in such a weird way.
It does.
Like it feels like they dropped their ice cream cone, not like someone died. And most of it can be chalked up to how horrible this girl is. Like she's George Lucas's niece or something. She has to be. There's no other way. Or the ABC's owner, because she's horrible. She's god awful.
All right, so we get the backstory on Noah and Salak. That night, Sindel's kind of upset that, like Salak, my family is gone.
They're dead too.
They're also dead. So Noah kind of comforts her and tells her, like,
Noah's like, what'd your dad say to you?
yeah, what was the last thing that your dad said to you?
She's like, piss off, get out of my room.
She tells him, last thing he said was, I'll always be with you. And Noah's
Right.
like, well, he always will be. And what do you remember about your mother? And
Right,
Sindel's
I mean the joke that is like, how about your mom? She hot?
And Sendel says, she always used to sing me this song, and she sings this song.
And it's horrible.
It's very bad, but at least it's only like 4 lines.
Right, and like I said during it, we just sat there and listened to it quietly. Like, no, neither of us made a comment. But then afterwards, I was like, "That's the most endearing moment this movie's had."
Yes.
Because Wilford Brimley is looking at her like this is amazing.
Yes. Well,
And
again,
it's garbage.
Wilford Brimley makes this movie, and
Yeah.
he's like, that was beautiful, and hugs her. And then we cut outside, and the crow has been listening to the song.
Yep.
Ooh.
The crow is bad.
So the next morning, Sindel awakens to hearing her name being called faintly from the forest. So she goes outside, wanders into the forest, comes across this woman in this white gown, blonde hair,
Curly like hers.
and a white horse.
Was it a unicorn?
It was a unicorn, actually, yes. It has a horn. She goes, that's the song my mom used to sing all the time. And the lady's like, oh, it's a beautiful song. I've always liked it. Back at the house, Wicket wakes up, tells Noah, hey, Sindel's gone.
Right.
Tries to wake him up, can't. Grabs a pail of water, throws it on Wilford
I
Brimley,
was like, what tarnation?
who wasn't acting here. He's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's super pissed.
Gets up and he's like, Sindel's gone. Let's go after her. Back to the lady. The lady's like, can you hand me my cloak? Sindel hands her the cloak. She wraps around her. Oh, she's the witch lady.
Right.
Black hair, black gown. The horse turns
The horse
black.
is not white anymore either.
The horse turns black for whatever
Well, no, it
reason.
turns brown. They couldn't afford a black
Right,
horse.
yeah. So, and she grabs her, throws her on the horse, rides off. Noah and Wicket see this happen.
And they slowly follow it.
They go back to the house and they get prepared. So Noah grabs his rope,
Yep,
which
of course.
is a bad idea because rope is
It'll break.
always unreliable in this universe. Grabs his grappling gun and grabs his war outfit, I guess.
Yeah, it's
that
like a
has
pallet. It's just a pallet swap.
has his little snaps,
Yes.
and he's got his backpack,
It's present out of Velcro.
and he brings a thermal detonator like charge.
Yeah.
That's important. Just like in Return of the Jedi, what they used to blow up the shield generator.
And he doesn't bring Tweak.
Literally the same prop. So they run off. Teak sees them running, so he follows them. At the castle, Witch Lady has Sindel, brings her before Tarak, and they're like, unlock the power of this device. And Sindel goes, that doesn't do anything. You have to plug it into something for it does. I don't have any magic power. I don't know anything about magic.
She's bad.
And Tarak is like, you'll unlock the power, or I'll
All
kill.
your Ewoks are dead.
Doomed. They're all doomed. You and your friends are all doomed.
So is this witch. She's doomed too.
Yes. It's like, I will give you until dawn to unlock the power. Otherwise, you're all doomed. And then you, Witch Lady, you will share her fate. And she's like, okay, tries to go for a ring. Tarak grabs the ring. He's like, nope, no tricks, no magic for you.
See ya.
Throws her in a cell.
Yep.
Noah and crew roll up on the castle. Noah uses his grappling gun, shoots a grappling hook up to the castle.
Well, first we get Wicket wants to swim in the black water.
Yes, there's black water. Wicked's like, I'll just swim. And Noah's like, oh, no, you don't. Sticks a
Puts
stick
the-
in.
and, like the creatures from Amnesia show up and just bite off the end of the stick.
Right. So bad times in the water. Noah uses a grappling gun, shoots up to the castle wall.
Yep.
Teak goes up first, followed by Wicket. And then as Noah's getting ready to come up, a guard rounds the corner. He sees Noah. He aims his gun at him, but then Wicket ties the rope around him, pushes him over, which pulls Noah up.
Somehow.
Physics.
Someone was really kind to Wilford Brimley.
So they sneak into the castle. Teak grabs a robe that they all put on.
Yep.
And it looks incredible. They cross the room with all of the bad guys. It's very obvious. It's like Wicket's face at the top. He's like riding on Noah's shoulders. And Teak is like coming up the rear. Doesn't make any sense why nobody notices them. They get into the room with all the Ewoks and Sindel. Teak rolls up, tries to grab the keys off the guard, but he can't.
Like an idiot, goes, "Hey, it's my friend Teak!"
And the guards are like, "Hey, shut up." They don't pay attention. And Sindel's like, "Oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, idiot.
The two guards are playing poker. They're playing a card game.
Gambling.
Yeah. And so one of the guards sits on Teak's hand, doesn't notice him, but Teak can't get away. So he deftly takes a card and sticks it up the guy's sleeve, and then it falls out, and the other guy notices, like, "Oh, you've been cheating." They both pull out their guns, and they shoot each other at the same time.
Right.
I actually really like that part.
That was fine. It was kind of cute.
So there's some noise being made, but everybody else is like, "Well, must be nothing," because nobody comes to check on them.
No.
They free all the Ewoks, free Sindel. So as they're trying to escape, one of the guards finds them running through the halls, gets shot in the foot by Wicket on accident.
Right.
He runs and sounds the alarm.
Which is just 2 metal pipes and like a hammer.
So everybody's like, "Oh, they're here." They're running through the castle trying to find them. Noah uses the thermal detonator to blow a hole through the wall.
Yep.
And then as the Ewoks escape, Sindel tells Noah, she's like, "Hey, your friend Salak," and he looks over, and Salak's skeleton is in one of the cages because the sorceress lady told Sindel, Salak was the traveler that told them about the power. So it all kind of comes...
He's sitting right there. He's dead.
It all kind of comes together.
Whatever.
And so the Ewoks get away as the bad guys try to chase them out. They're climbing the rope, trying to get out of the castle, following the Ewoks.
Yep, and the Ewok shoots the statue and it breaks, which is where the rope is. So they're all like holding onto the rope,
dangling above the black water,
trying to climb back up into the castle.
Tarak comes to the hallway, sees the rope, and he's like, "This is in my way." Cuts the rope, and then
all you hear in the background is just this quiet, like, "Ah!"
Like that was actually a really good joke. Like it's off screen, you hear them yelling, falling into the water.
Splash, and it was like, good.
That was a good joke. Tarak rolls up to the sorceress and is like, "I need your help. Here's your ring back." Turns her into a crow, but then takes the ring away from her.
Doesn't make any sense.
So she's permanently stuck as a crow. Reasons.
Permacrow.
Permacrow. Noah and all the Ewoks are running back towards the forest.
Right.
The crow is following them, so finds out where they are. Noah and all the Ewoks get back to where the ship is. Noah puts in the power source, and he's trying to power up the ship for its defenses, and he tells the Ewoks, "You have to hold off the bad guys while I try to power up the ship." Okay, Tarak and all of his dudes roll in, and it's very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi.
They even use like sound clips and everything from it, and like it's very. It also gets pretty high production too.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Like the Ewoks
like stunts, they have like the blasts and everything. And fire sparks.
Ewoks are shooting arrows at the bad guys. Like this part, the production value is actually pretty good. Like the production value, besides like the obviously dated special effects,
right?
Production values for these two movies, being like made for TV movies from the 80s,
bad.
They're not bad. They're pretty good. The stop motion is really dated. Whenever they do stop motion on creatures, like that looks really bad. And the green screen is very noticeable, but overall it's not too bad. So there's big battle, a battle for Endor, you might say.
Oh, interesting choice of words.
And it comes down to Noah eventually gets the ship powered up, defeats all the bad guys. Some of the bad guys start retreating, and Tarak is like, "No, we have to keep going."
Right. Teak does nothing. This whole damn fight.
Teak kind of just
He's a piece of shit.
Walks around aimlessly.
He does tie a guy to a tree, though. It's kind of funny.
And just when it appears everything is over, Tarak rolls up and grabs Sindel and tells Wicket, like, "Tell the old man to bring the power source, and otherwise the girl's doomed."
Right. She'll doom herself.
Noah comes with the power source and goes to Tarak, and Tarak says, "Give me the power source and I'll give you back the girl." And Noah goes, "How about this? You let her go and I'll fight you for the power source."
Nope.
And Tarak agrees for reasons.
Nope. Incorrect choice, dude.
So it's a duel between Tarak and Noah. Noah has like his little
walking stick?
Yeah, he's like his little staff. Tarek has his sword. Things aren't looking so hot for Noah. He
Nobody's
falls down.
helping.
Teak helps. Teak jumps on the back of.
Yep, and he gets thrown.
He gets thrown comically, and then just when things are looking their worst, Wicket pulls out his sling and throws a rock at Tarek, which hits the ring, the magic ring, which he's wearing as a necklace.
Yep.
Activates the ring and turns Tarek into stone.
Makes no sense.
Because magic and reasons.
Nope.
So yay! Everybody's saved. Endor's saved. All the Ewoks are good.
We're brain dead.
We're brain dead. And Noah says goodbye to Teak. Sindel says goodbye to Wicket and the rest of the Ewoks.
Yep.
And Noah and Sindel get in the Star Cruiser and take off and fly away, presumably
almost running over Teak and Wicket.
Presumably to go back to whatever planet they're from.
Coruscant.
Because they don't specify.
Nope.
And that's the end of the movie.
Boringly roll credits.
So, I've seen these movies many, many times. I watched them a lot as a kid. I had them on VHS tape. You'd never seen them before.
No, that's right.
So, just final thoughts. You've now seen the 2 made-for-TV Ewok movies.
Yes, Ewok Adventures.
What did you think?
So, like I said earlier, I think that they're both pretty decent. Like they're good kids films. They don't really hold up too well today.
Special effects are definitely dated.
It kind of makes me wonder. While I was watching it, I was kind of wondering how good the original 4, 5, and 6 must have looked. Like, of course, their budgets were a lot higher than this, but effects were still kind of the same. But no, I think they're fine. I mean, the first one is quite a bit boring. The acting is atrocious in both of them, with the exception of Wilford Brimley. And the dad in the second one, too. The dad's pretty good in the second one.
The dad. We were talking about how the dad in the second movie, I said that he kind of reminded me of the guy who plays Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins.
Right.
You know, he's a father figure. He's only in the movie for like 4 or 5 minutes, but he adds a lot of weight.
Really good 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, he adds a lot of weight to what's going on in the movie. Like when the dad is talking to Sindel at the beginning of the second movie, you're like, okay, I care.
Right. Another big thing is, since it's a movie for TV, you can tell it's a little rushed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots where lines are very inaudible because the actors are shit.
Yeah, and the music kind of drowns out a lot of the dialogue,
which is fine
in a lot of the movies.
I'm glad it does. I mean, there was one line in particular where...
Oh, that line that Mace said?
Yeah, the line, it's in the first one, where Mace is like holding his dad, and he's like, I love you.
Yeah, he's like, I thought we'd lost you, or something like that.
Because it kind of sounds like he's trying to make it sound like he's crying.
Yeah, it's a really bad take.
It comes out like he's got cotton in his mouth.
Right, they really should have done a second take on it.
So, that's bad. Someone needs to tell, like, Shirley Temple with blonde hair to never touch film again. Ever. Or maybe to go get a job with Tommy Wiseau, something like that. But no, for the most part, it's fine. Like, for not being Jim Henson puppetry, the puppetry's pretty decent at times. Mm-hmm. But
the costumes are good. Like, all the Ewok costumes are pretty good. Yeah, all the Ewoks
look great. I mean, they don't watch Return of the Jedi anywhere near this, or you'll change your mind.
The bad guys in the second movie look pretty good.
And that's the thing, is in the second movie we have antagonists. In the first movie we really don't. It's kind of an adventure film. Mm-hmm. But the second film, there's an antagonist. We feel it. We feel his impending. Like, it's good.
Yeah, there's a plot. There's a story.
There's the main villain. There's a side villain. You know, and the side villain's kind of has a change of heart, but not really. Yeah,
and you also get, like, it's very simple, but you get the backstory about Noah and Salak and them crashing.
Right.
And you understand why the bad guys are chasing after the power source for the Star Cruiser, because they think it's some sort of magic power. Like, it's everything kind of ties together.
Right. So it works. It's fine.
We had mentioned this too, where we're watching the matte paintings, which there's a lot of, are generally really good.
They're gorgeous
in both movies. You know, used as supplements for the backgrounds, the environments. Like, the matte paintings are major excellent, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, I've seen these movies many times. I've always enjoyed them. Again, they're cheesy and they're charming. They are kids' movies.
Yep.
You know, again,
tried and true.
Made for TV, 1980s. For what it is, I think they're enjoyable.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I would show them to a kid easily.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're like a huge Star Wars fan, or for whatever reason you really love like Ewoks, I think they're worth seeking out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're on YouTube. I own them on DVD. It's like comes in like a double pack.
They're probably on YouTube.
You can and if they're not, you can probably get it online for like $5 or something from Amazon.
Right.
Comes in like a dual pack with both movies. But even if you're remotely interested, like you're not wasting your time
No,
by tracking these two movies down.
They're nowhere near insulting or bad. They're just cheesy.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, as always, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on the made-for-TV Ewok movies.
Never thought we'd talk about that.
Eric was feeling kind of sick today, so we decided to do something kind of easy.
Yeah.
Spend the evening watching 2 cheesy movies and talking about it for an hour or so.
Not too bad.
If you did enjoy it, please let us know. You can find us on social media at Facebook and Twitter, and you can also contact us at Gmail, all at POP RANT RADIO. All the episodes are now also available on YouTube. I've been posting those there, so you can find them there if you'd like.
Sweet.
Subscribe, comment, all the stuff that everybody always wants you to
says.
do. If it's easier for you to get a hold of it on YouTube, the show is there, as well as directly from Libsyn, the website that hosts the podcast. As always, it's also available on iTunes. If you are enjoying the show, please rate and review and subscribe on iTunes. Like, the reviews and the subscriptions really, really help out the show. Just kind of gets the show out there, lets more people know about it. We would really appreciate it.
Right.
As always, we'd like to thank Major for the theme songs.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it as always. And other than that, I think we're good.
Yep. This is Commander Shepard signing off.
Your favorite podcast on the Citadel.
This is Commander Shepard. This is my favorite podcast on the Citadel. Give me 1 second. I'm going to head down the way and tell that next door.
So thanks again, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.